recording now. That's us recording. Ding, ding, ding. All right, so we're here with our second critique, Leighann. Leighann was nice enough to send us her video out of Afghanistan, where she has a makeshift box that it looks like she's created.
Pretty cool.
A little CrossFit area for herself, her overhead squat. And if you look on our Facebook page, a link to her video on Facebook, and you can watch it. And also feel free to chime in and tell us your critiques if you see anything that we don't catch. Stop her squat at quarter squat, half squat, and full squat.
Look at the way up.
We'll watch the way up and see what we see. So Cam and I are clicking on the link right now.
First of all, we need to say it. So Leighann is 105 pounds and she just squat 135, which is like pretty heavy for a tiny little girl.
That's pretty legit.
I want to start by a good job for that weight.
So she takes the barbell out of the rack in the overhead squat position. Yeah. Pretty awesome. Like, jerks aren't for me. Who needs to jerk? We're just going to take it right out of the rack in the overhead squat position. What do you see?
Okay, so just for like when you start a position, you can see Leighann, like if you see where your hips are, right before you start squatting, you can see that you're not stable. So before going for a lift, just like make sure you stop and you find that spot that your feet are really on your heel and you're stable before going. It's going to save you for like heavier lift.
Yeah, I agree with Cam. Before you start the squat, what I was basically looking at in the overhead squat is that you have a good, strong, active shoulder and your core is nice and tight, you know, so things are locked in and you really have a good support in that overhead position. Now, as she starts to go down, Cam, what do you see happening?
Knee initiation, hips driving back, going like back on your heel and everything, and we already see the knee coming forward.
And this can happen because of two reasons. She may be a quad dominant squatter,
yep,
or maybe there's some type of shoulder issue going on in there where she can't get her shoulder open as she descends down, so she compensates by going onto her knees, which keeps her torso more upright.
Yep.
But now she has a very quad dominant squat, making sure she has the requisite shoulder mobility to do that overhead squat and keep that shoulder angle open as she goes down. So in half squat, what do we see there, Cam?
Oh, the same thing again.
Now it becomes a little more evident, right?
And you can see the lumbar curve is pretty good to brace more your abs, because maybe you get a little bit lazy with your abs.
And getting a little loose in the belly. So make sure we have that good, strong, active shoulder position and we keep that belly tight as we go down. As she goes to depth, is the weight coming onto the toes and the knees coming forward, and that's often accompanied by the bar coming forward too.
Yeah.
So that's why we really want to sit back and find those heels. Down at depth. Now, we didn't quite get depth there, right? That was like a Dave Lipson overhead squat.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see if we can actually get her there, if she has that range of motion.
I think just by like shifting her on the heel, we would be on her heel instead of on her toes, and like posterior chain, and maybe easier to go to reach that depth.
Can't see how wide your feet are or what's happening at the knee, but we also might want to consider pushing those knees out or maybe getting those feet a little bit wider, shifting that weight back into your heels, and allow your femurs some room so you can get depth. And again, I would definitely want to take a look at your shoulders to make sure that you can keep that active shoulder position and maintain that bar in the frontal plane right over your foot as you go down. That's a way that people compensate for not having the shoulder mobility to get down to that overhead squat. As she starts to come up, she starts
go back on her heel,
which
is perfect.
She finds her heels, which is good. We just want to stay on those heels as we go down. So some things you can work on: make sure you push those knees out and you keep that chest up. Look into some shoulder mobility exercises to really try and keep that shoulder angle open and those arms pressed up and active as you go down and you execute your overhead squat. If you guys out there see anything that we don't see, or you have some good tips for Leighann, please shoot them over and you can write it down in our comments board.
Hopefully we help you.
We love doing this stuff.
You're good.
If you also have any other movement, don't just send us squats. I know we love squatting, but send us some overhead stuff. Send us gymnastics, Olympic weightlifting, any of that stuff. This is a forum. CrossFit has a ton of exercises, and we love them all. So send it over, and we'll give you our best shot and try and figure out a way we can make all you guys a little bit better. Thanks.